Hey, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny.
And today we're going to do an earnings recap, 5 minutes or less. And yeah, it's going to be nice and quick over all the companies we care about.
Yeah, we'll just get to it. We'll try to save you guys as much time as possible. We're just talking about a couple stocks that we own and companies that we follow.
Boom.
Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks.
All right, so we got some famous people here, a little bit less famous people. You want to talk? So briefly, Google here, big one. I need to do a deep dive on Google. You're watching us on a Google platform right now. Unfortunately, they actually missed a couple of key metrics here. Their EPS and their revenue growth did not come in line with management expectations. And right here on this very platform, YouTube was actually one of them. Came in quite a bit short of where they anticipated. They did talk about the fact that shorts views have quadrupled year over year, but shorts, short form video is basically in an early monetizable state, so they're not really sure how to adequately extract value from that compared to like normal YouTube videos like this. But they did tell the bears to stay the hell away because they authorized a $70 billion share repurchase program. So
Boom.
Yeah, you got that.
And have a stock split coming.
Yep. Yeah, very true. And a little bit of positive news on that, a little positive reaction on that news.
Yeah, not too bad. There's the graph for
exactly.
you. Nothing really exciting. Facebook coming in hot. First quarter revenue up 7%. This was interesting because it was right after Google, and everyone thought it was going to tank. So beat on earnings, up 6% for you for daily active users of all products. Revenue guidance slightly below expectations. However, they lowered their guidance on expenses from 90 to 95 to 87 to 92 billion. Next slide for me.
Yeah.
They killed it. Boom. Went up from about 175, 207, still chilling that range. Obviously just happened.
Yeah. This idiot took a loss on Iron Condor I had going into earnings too, but whatever. At least I'm still long Facebook shares. Microsoft, they had probably, I would say, out of the big tech companies, the best quarter in terms of the report so far. Yeah, they beat both top and bottom line. They talked about the growth of, yeah, exactly. Pretty much all their units growing well, which is impressive. Their cloud subsidiary 46% year over year, and I thought this was kind of interesting too. They called out their security segment, which they've only been doing for the last year. 45% growth over year. Yeah, eat that crap, Palantir, who's the only game in town. You know what I'm saying? Talking about security, maybe got a little bit going on with Microsoft competition.
Palantir sucks. All right.
Yeah, and appropriately so. After hitting on both things, you get a nice little pop here.
Nice little pop. There was a down day right after, but the whole market was down. Can't really look into it.
Whole market was down. Yeah.
TDOC,
exactly.
The best stock in the history of the planet, down 47%, lost of 41.58 per share instead of the 60 cents they were thinking. That's due to a goodwill charge of 6.6 billion. However, they knew it was going to happen. They just said, look, it's going to be like 800 million, 4 billion tops. And classic Kathy bought just a little bit more.
Yep. As I said, Dylan, she'll be dropping it in about a month for a loss. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, that's quite a gap, huh?
Yeah. So this is really interesting. When you gap down that much and you go to take a screenshot of the graph, you have to fit everything in for the last 3 months. The graph looks terrible. Everything's super small. That's how you know they dropped an absolute crap ton. Not good.
That makes sense. So Intel was kind of interesting. I'm bullish on Intel. I own Intel. My time horizon on them is still long term. I'm waiting for this whole IDM 2.0 process to weigh out. Did it actually beat on both top and bottom line? They did have this gross margin contraction, which they've been talking about for a while. It's a really interesting in the time and age of the semiconductor shortage. You would think semiconductor companies wouldn't be having to compete over price in terms of their margin. They'd be able to increase prices without any real issue, but that has not been the case. The other big thing that's part of this is that they just launched their 12th gen CPU, so they have increased costs by manufacturing this new thing. They did give some good guidance, so 18 billion in revenue, a little bit, and they actually looking for the semiconductor shortage to go all the way in 2024 now. Do you see that prediction? Because they're saying that they're building up these new fabs and they're having issues getting the equipment for these new fabs. That's where the supply chain is messed up right now. I
don't trust Intel at all. I disagree with you on Intel.
Well, it's okay. I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? The market didn't like that news either, so I'm not surprised.
Classic.
Yeah.
Amazon, they got hit real hard off of a wonderful investment in Rivian Automotive the electric car crap. Reported a $7.6 billion loss. They lost $3.8 billion in the first quarter compared with a profit of $8.1 billion a year ago. That is the first loss since 2015. They have also projected slightly lower income, and then their operating expenses are increasing faster than their sales. Honestly, can't believe they put that much money in Rivian. That's the most shocking part of this.
Yeah. I mean, carrying investment things on a month-to-month basis is kind of a questionable thing. And Warren Buffett's not a big fan of it. The one thing that I thought was interesting, I don't know if you saw this, Michael Burry actually talked about Amazon being really an indicator in terms of underlying American consumer, and he thought that this quarter kind of like being a little bit of a whiff was a sign that the average American consumer is pulling back on purchases now.
I feel like he said that like 9 times. There's Amazon, massive drop. Not good.
Yeah. Oh, Apple, near and dear to my heart. They beat top and bottom line. Largest company in the world, and they're still growing 8.5% year over year, which is ridiculous.
It's disgusting.
Their services segment is up 17% year over year. They even talked about how the wearable segment, if it were on its own, would be Fortune 100 company.
That's so gross.
Yeah, ridiculous. Their gross margin was still up because of the contribution of the services segment. 70% gross margin on that services segment. So they're still actually increasing their profitability. They did talk about a $4 to $8 billion supply constraint impact on the current quarter due to China COVID lockdowns. They said this is not semiconductor related, but this was actual manufacturing capacity that was shut down with the kind of China zero COVID policy. And they went ahead and said, you know what, we need to pay back our shareholders. So they increased their dividend and they authorized a $90 billion share repurchase program.
Yeah, I was surprised on the dividend. I was not expecting that one.
It's still small compared to their cash flow. But
no, I agree, but just anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
then they got a nice pop here. Yeah.
Nice little pop, down day just like everyone else right after.
Yeah, Friday was a brutal day for the market.
So basically PayPal fighting for its life here. Used to be in that $300 a share at some point. Basically, they actually popped on earnings a little bit, even though they had kind of only negative news. The previous quarter, they said, we're going to be the best thing ever. And then they came back down to earth. They're now claiming 11 to 13% of revenue growth on the year and 10 million accounts instead of 15 to 17 and 20 million accounts. So this was seen as positive as they're basically de-risking the stock. I'm going to put that in quotes. Yeah, I know. I agree. But earnings came in line with estimates, but was a 28% decrease for the quarter. But they still had revenue growth of 8%. And, total transaction was up a bunch.
Yeah. PayPal's an interesting one.
I don't know about de-risking the stock, but that was the quote.
Lower the price, lower the risk.
Yeah, there you go. So that little pop, it was actually seen as positive news. They've been on a steady decline for like 8 months. So, boom.
Yeah. Couple
These are
interesting ones
upcoming.
watching coming up.
AMD is going to be a big one because it's also going to be more telling of Intel. If AMD goes up, Intel's going to go down even more. If AMD goes down, Intel's going to go up. So,
yeah. Interesting. They're a little isolated from that kind of manufacturing because of the fact that they don't make their own stuff. So
yeah, they just make better stuff. All right.
You're a wizard, Harry.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a good one.
Catch you in the next one.